Well, the B's of preparedness. I'm sure you all are familiar with the three B's of preparedness, beans, bullets, and band-aids. I'm going to tell you about the seven B's of preparedness today, each of which you need if you're going to have any chance of doing well during some collapse or catastrophe. We're going to get into that. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness, by the way. Good morning. I'm Steve Smith. And and before we get to that subject, for those of you on Patreon, I want to let you know I just put up one about building a business as a group for the benefit of the group and the individuals within, mainly for not just for increased financial strength. You know, I've talked before about the importance of being your own income generator. That's a very important part of preparedness. And Mike Hoskins, one of our patrons over there, asked me what I thought about doing it as a group, so I made a video on that. Also, today's chat, the new feature on Patreon is a chat that allows me to start a chat whenever I want, and so I'm doing it every morning, first thing by about 6:30, 7 o'clock. I'll have a chat started up there. It allows all the patrons to join in throughout the day, talk about whatever they want to, share whatever they want to. But I often I have been putting up questions to kind of start it off, and you don't have to stay within that. But yesterday's was great. This chat feature really is taken off. And yesterday's, I think, was what are you doing today? Because I say the key to preparedness is doing something every day. It has to be a habit. It has to be a lifestyle. You have to do something every day, however small it is. You know, it could be buying a ranch. That's not small, Steve. Yes, I know. Could be buying a ranch or a farm, and it could be buying 6 more cans of Progresso soup. Whatever you do is is part of that. You know, that consistency that's important for preparedness. So we had a lot of good comments on that, a lot of good posts. Today's is what concerns you most? What is the most concerning thing? You know, we live in a world of many threats, don't we? But what's your all's particular thing? If you're with us over on Patreon, uh, post it. Make sure you get in on those daily chats. If you're not, you should be. We'd love to have you over there. It's only $1 a month, and you get so much more on Patreon than you do here. But I still try to give you a whole bunch here. Okay. Um, Also, probably later going to read the next chapter of The Revival, my second book. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I want to get to the B's of preparedness. Let me take a sip here first. Wet my throat. So you all are familiar with the three B's, right? Beans, bullets, band-aids. Those are self-explanatory. Uh, you got to have food. You got to have a way to protect yourself and those who depend on you and your stuff. And you have to be able to take care of those medical needs to the extent, you know, whatever extent you can. And you should always be building on that. Uh, if medical attention is not available. Well, I added two, and then some of our patrons have added two more. So I'll talk about that. The two that I add is the Bible. Okay, the fourth is the Bible. And really, I'll tell you, that should be the first one, but since people have already come up with those three B's, I won't try to, you know, circumvent that. But the fourth, which is the most important, is the Bible. Not only is it uh, elemental, meaning so important, basic to your spiritual health, your spiritual strength, your relationship with your Creator. It is also the most important. It is the best preparedness book ever written. Every lesson you will need for being prepared, not just in a calamity, but in today's life, living your life today, is in there. Many people don't know the Bible. This isn't going to be a religious, uh, uh, it's not going to be a sermon, don't worry. But I'm going to explain it as I would any book. Okay? Even just taking it as a book. Most people don't realize what's actually in the Bible. I know. I know that seems surprising. So many think they know what's in the Bible. And I occasionally get comments, from on here that show me again how much people don't realize what's in the Bible. If you read the Bible, and that means everything in there, and you understand how everything is in context with another, you will be amazed at what you learn. The preparedness lessons in it are invaluable. Okay. Even better, I shouldn't say that's almost sacrilege. I was going to say even better than my books. Well, of course it's better than my books. Far better. So the Bible. Make sure that that is one of your basic preps. Should be the first one. Now, but it's number 4 on our list. Number 5, bucks. So many people in preparedness shy away from this idea that money is good. Okay, there are far too many people in the preparedness world who concentrate on just doing with very little, of keeping themselves down on the very, very basic level. And I know that they see this as kind of practice for when everything does fall apart. The problem is that everything hasn't fallen apart yet, and there are many, many ways out there to increase your preparedness by earning money and buying the things you need that will help you in your preparedness. Okay, here again, there are many people in the preparedness world that say, well, you can't buy preparedness. Well, you can buy many things that will help you in your preparedness. And don't fall prey to these people who will tell you that your money, fiat currency, is worthless. You use it every day to buy everything you need and everything or whatever you want, right? It is not worthless. This is a ridiculous argument. Will it be worthless sometime in the future? We don't know. We don't know. And also, to be honest, fiat currency is not usually replaced with precious metals. It's usually replaced with another fiat currency. All that means is fiat currency means it's not backed by anything else. Well, what it is backed by is the willingness of others to take it in exchange for a good or a service. So it is backed by something. It's backed by the markets of what people want. And if you really want to get down to it, gold, you could call it a fiat currency as well, because it's not backed by anything except what people think it's worth and are willing to give you for it. Okay, so that's don't fall prey to these ridiculous arguments about money not being important. It is vital. And if you almost everybody, if you're on Patreon, you hear the stories of the people who are doing very well in their preparedness as a result of good decisions they've made financially. Okay, it is important that you make good financial decisions, and it's important that you earn the money that allows you to do better in preparedness. Okay, preparedness doesn't have to be living out in the woods. And I don't want to put anybody down, even though they put us down who live differently. I don't want to put anybody down for how they choose to live their life. Okay, but you don't have to live a rudimentary existence in order to be a prepared person. As a matter of fact, it detracts from your ability to be prepared, because you can't afford what would be better to have. Okay? If you have the money, you can buy a vehicle that doesn't have to be fixed all the time, right? Okay, there you go. So now we're up to 5, right? Beans, bullets, Band-Aids, the Bible, and bucks. Mike Hoskins came on and just a few days ago and says, I got another one, and that's bros, or brothers, right? Bros, your group, your people. Exactly right. You have to have people. Here again, we get back to the idea of this lone wolf, or I don't like people, or I don't need a group, or whatever like that. You do. If you have read my books, as a matter of fact, this would be a good time to put it up, the Stonemont series. The Stonemont series is a series of 6 novels, The Reversion, The Revival, The Renewal, An Appeal to Heaven, Blessings of Freedom, and Hostages to Fortune. I call it the complete plan for preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a total collapse of everything. And the story centers around, or it starts with a family who was prepared as a result of understanding preparedness and using their resources, building and using resources in order to ensure their continued survival after a complete collapse of everything. But it doesn't stop there. Their preparedness allowed them to help other people who were not particularly prepared, but were still good people. And as we see the community building there, we're able to see a return of a community way of life, of a new society, to where the strengths of many people and the knowledge of many people are able to come together and rebuild a life worth living, all because of one family's preparedness, which included preparedness that came from their financial ability to be prepared to that extent. They're available on Amazon, the link's down below, or you can get them through our website, stonemont.us. That link is also down below. Pardon me. So bros, that is definitely a B. You need people. You need people for many things, but one of the most important is the breadth of knowledge. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. As I talk about in there, this one family started, and then more people came in with different knowledge bases. As a result, they were able to build out more. We're going to get to that in just a second. They were able to build many things that they would not have been able to build without that broad knowledge base. Okay, so your people are vital. Having a group of like-minded people. Okay, and that's very important because they said right out, here are our standards. We operate on essentially, most of the Ten Commandments and the Golden Rule. And anybody that comes short of that, no, you can't stay. Because treating each other well, treating each other properly is simply basic to having a good group, right? Okay, that's right. So your people, if you haven't, if you don't have a good circle, I call it a circle of friends. I don't build a mag or anything like that. Just a circle of friends who I know when everything falls apart. We don't have meetings and things like that. We've talked about it for years. Okay, and when everything falls apart, they're here. And in my particular case, we have a wide variety, including, for our medical, we have advanced nursing, ER nurses and CRNs and doctors and all that. This is what, this is, well, I'll save that for another time. So your people. Now, you heard me say, well, then they're build, right? And maybe some of you were yelling, Steve, that would be another good B, build. Well, Kevin Altapeter already beat you to it. Another one of our patrons over on Patreon, he says, here's another one, build. Exactly right. That's the 7th one, build. Build. First off, build now. Build your groups. Build your preps. Build your preparedness understanding. Build, build, build. Whether that's physically built, whether it's building your place, whether it's building a secondary location, whether it's building your group, whether it's building your knowledge base, build, build, build. That's how we do everything in our life. Whether it's our vocation, we build on our knowledge. We build on our ability to be better. But also, I'll translate this into beyond, because in my books, after the collapse, they started building back. Well, I hate to use that term, build back better, but actually I showed how they built a society back better than the one that had collapsed. I mean, what kind of world do we live in, right? If you had a choice, would you continue to live in the world the way it is? Or, as many people who have read the Stonemont series say, I much prefer this to the world that I live in now. So build yourself. Build your sustainability. Build your self-reliance. And realize that even after a big calamity, the opportunity to build did not stop. It's even then even more important. So there we have the 7 B's of preparedness, as I say it. And thank you, Mike and Kevin, for your contributions in there. So remember, beans, bullets, band-aids, Bible, bucks. Am I missing one? And build. Bros. I'm sorry, bros and build. Yeah, I would have had this flowing out if I hadn't been making a video on there. Beans, bullets, uh, band-aids, Bible, bucks, bros, and build. So think about that. Make that a part. Make the 7 B's a part of your plan, and you can't go wrong. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, doing something every day, increasing your knowledge, increasing your awareness. If you're not with us on Patreon, we'd love to have you as a member. Come be a member. You'll enjoy it. You'll get so much out of it. Again, the link's below. The Stonemont series, if you haven't read them and you're serious about preparedness, this is the next thing I'd suggest you do. Again, they're available Amazon and the Stonemont website, both of them down below. You all have a good day. Get out there and do something. Get out there and do something to improve your position. Become more prepared every single day, because someday you'll need it. We don't know when that day is going to come. Could come in 5 years, could come tomorrow. So get out there and do your best, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.